This is McCook's Mr. Bill. It is an honor to have you here. This is an old gun, absolutely. It's a BB gun. Looks like the German Luger. I bought it for about $60 bill way back, and I don't think they're a lot more expensive than that on Amazon today. This is not the blowback style, and that gives you more speed down the barrel, about 400 feet per second. It's got a good sting on it with BBs, absolutely. And the clip, you push this button and out comes the clip. It's a steel clip. I said steel clip. Holds 21 BBs. It can jam up easily, so you do have to be a little extra careful because of that. The safety is something that should always be the first thing you worry about. That old red dot says you're in danger. You pull it down and it won't fire then. But with that in mind, it's an excellent shooting BB gun. Again, I've had it for a long time, and so the review is just simply to talk about it. This weapon was around pre-World War II. The Germans had it, and numerous other people carried it as well, including my father. Yeah, he fought on the American side, but he fought in the first battle in Africa against the Nazis, and he picked up a German Luger. And he had it for just kind of a trophy, if you will, but then he shot it, and he liked it. He liked it a lot better than the 45 they gave him. He said he couldn't hit nothing with that dumb thing. And so he turned it back in so he didn't have to pay a penalty. And then he carried a German Luger for the rest of the war. And he was a truck driver. He drove gasoline trucks to the tanks up in the front lines, or ammunition. And either one was voluntary only and almost suicide missions at times. And so they didn't care what he carried. They didn't care. So he carried that and used a half a dozen clips. And that's what he had. In fact, he even told that a number of times when the German fighter planes would come in scraping them, that he'd get his German Luger out and hang out the window. He couldn't stop. He had orders never to stop the column. But he would get out or hang out the window and shoot at the planes going over, scraping them. He said, of course, it was ridiculous to do it, but he said, I just wanted them to know that I wasn't happy with them. They're trying to kill me. He said, at least I can do is try to kill them. And that's what all he had, so that's what he used. So be that as it may, he almost made it back to the States with it. He got on a ship, but then somebody stole it out of his bag, so he never got home with his German Luger. Always wanted one, never did pick one up later then. With that in mind, though, I got a German Luger just out of remembrance of his story. And I use it as a wall hanger most of the time. But it's very efficient and it's quiet. And I'd finish with this. We went to the meat market down there at Oxford. We took our deer down there and they called and said it's done. So we went to pick up the meat. And when we got down there, an interesting store, to say the least. They do a lot of beef down there and deer and any other meat products. But what was neat is they had a lot of guns and ammunition, rows of for ammunition, but very little ammunition was there. And they said, it's real hard to get ammunition. I said, well, a friend of mine needs some 9mm ammunition. If I could find some, I'd pick it up for him. And they said they had ammunition, 9mm ammunition last year for $18 for a box of 50, $18. And she said her last box that she sold this year, she put a $79 price tag on it and it sold. For a box of ammunition, $79. And she said, it doesn't matter though. She said, I can't get another one until next year, and that's only if I'm lucky. It might be 2 years before I can get some ammunition back in this store, or some of the calibers back into this store. So if you want to shoot something though, that looks like a 9, you can always go to the BB gun versions. Absolutely. A lot less regulations, a lot less paperwork. Keep it in mind and enjoy plinking every chance you get.